Welcome to the Avram Davidson universe. I've got my Hawaiian shirt for Sinbad. We're going to read Unhistory. I'm here with Virgil from Literally Books.
What's up, everybody? Bob, how's it going?
Good. I'm ready to set sail. It seems the only metaphor that I can continue to make is boating,
Voting.
boating
That's a
related
good
things.
metaphor.
People love to boat.
It's
Boating is in season, all season. This collection, we're going to read Avram Davidson's Adventures in Unhistory, and I think this will be a lot of fun. You and I were both really excited about this, and we talked about jumping into this project. We would like to read these. They are essays. They're nonfiction essays on proving kind of the truth behind different legends, almost. How would you describe them, Virgil?
yeah, it's Avram looking at these stories. In this case, well, in any case, these legends or myths or whatever that you might encounter through either like the Arabian Nights or just in general, like in Herodotus or something, and sort of saying, well, what is there a historical basis for this idea, and then tracking down all the little threads and then picking out all these little bits of information separately and bringing it all together, and usually like astoundingly so, like really coming to some excellent conclusions. You're like, this is such good work, this is so interesting. So just really enjoyable.
I think so too. And there's, as you've pointed out too, there's like little asides. So it's really fun. You get to know Avram really well through reading these, while you also get to uncover and unthread these legends and find out which parts are true, which parts are not true. Some of the titles, I'm looking at some now, if people are interested. One we're going to do soon called Where Did Sinbad Sail? One is called Who Fired the Phoenix? An Abundance of Dragons, a postscript on Prester John. We are excited too there's one about Hyperborea, The Secret of Hyperborea. And then what gave all those mammoths cold feet?
Yeah, they're and they're all very entertaining, right? Because you would think like a book of essays, that sounds real fun. But you're like, wow, essays? Whew, can't wait to but actually he makes you, in addition, you get this great essay, but it's entertaining the whole time. It's almost as though he's, as a storyteller, knows when your attention might flag, and puts in a little joke or or some little like aside to kind of give you a break and to put you and to sort of reel you back in. When you get too many place names at once, he'll put in a little quip. Or if you get a list of raw materials or something that somebody's transporting, he'll say some little thing at the end, or talk about this or that material and where it came from real quick. And it just always just pulls you back in. Just so good.
He could throw you a bone no matter how far away it gets.
Right.
With the information. The very beginning of Where Did Sinbad Sail begins like this. It says, "It may be the reply of many is, who cares?" And he says,
so even he recognizes, like, oh, really? Am I really interested in this? Well, maybe you think you won't be, but
you are. There's lots of. We're going to look at a detail in this story later that I think it has a very science fiction feel. Because Sinbad and a few other legends, they go and they meet the rook or the roc, this giant bird that has been a bird of legend in many different stories. And Sinbad ends up in the nest. He's surrounded by eggs in the Scheherazade, the Arabian Nights. That's part of the story. But Avram Davidson has figured out that there really was a slightly different bird, but it really was something to base this legend on, not just creating something from nothing, but there really was an experience of a giant bird.
Yeah, really, like finds the historical precedent for this myth, which is so great. Which honestly, I've never heard anywhere else. No one else has ever. To me, I've never encountered. As much as I've gone into fantasy gaming and bestiaries and stuff like that that are just fun to read. I don't think I've ever encountered this work anywhere else, which is so cool. You feel like this is the first time I've read it, and this is not a new work. So this is great and it's strange that it hasn't been picked up. So it's like almost like this secret that's just in plain sight.
It's like we've said, it's like a treasure trove going through the work. But this is also, I feel like it's the ultimate cocktail party guide for like book nerds and RPG nerds. Because
totally.
It's perfect because all of this information that people don't know, you can bring up these perfect little tidbits that are just like shining, dangling jewels to talk about and to lure people into a conversation. Not lure, that sounds weird. To bring up during a
No, that's
great
good.
come speak
It's
with
a
me.
good kind of lore, right?
But to bring it up like while you're playing an RPG, I think is great.
Absolutely, yeah, something like that, or just if somebody is really interested in mythology, you could say, "Oh, well, I remember reading this essay, we talked about this," and it's like, "Really? What is this essay that you're talking about?" It's so cool. Um, I've never encountered this stuff anywhere else, and every one of these is like that. Every one that
You
I've
too.
read, I've not read every single one of them. I've read about half, and they're all just this great, like, almost like this, it feels like he's like a historical detective or something.
It's true. And like you said, it's pre-Google, and Avram Davidson was Google before Google. So authors would call him up and say, what about, I need some facts on ancient Egypt. I need some facts. I need a timeline check. And he would be the one who would, who would be able to
Right?
rattle these things off. So now you get to go right to the horse's mouth and like find out all of these things that he has dug up and put together as a detective. I think that's a very good, I'm excited. Do you have one that you're most excited for, Virgil, or one that you think will be the strangest or most interesting?
The one that I remember enjoying the most, and then I've only read half, so I know that I've not read the back half of these, but the one that I've enjoyed the most, that I know when I first read it, I thought, my goodness, this is just so excellent. It was Who Fired the Phoenix. It
Oh.
was just so great the way that way that essay tracks down all these different disparate ideas from all around the globe and brings together all these ideas, and then sort of at the end says, well, here is where it seems like the myth of the phoenix came from, and here's
Mm.
why this makes sense. And at the end of it, okay. And actually, I have seen this.
Mm.
I have seen that work from that essay in other places. So I wonder if
Mm.
that essay has gotten out enough that it actually is in like Wikipedia and stuff like that now. I think it might be, because I've encountered it separately from Avram. And I'm
Mm.
like, when he writes about it, it seems fresh. Like nobody else had made this conclusion yet. So I think that there's some really great work being done here that it just maybe isn't quite attributed.
So he was Google before Google, and he's also the basis for Wikipedia.
Maybe he's got some Wikipedia, work happening. Yeah, because what is this might be, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but I think in reading the Treasury, one of the things that I didn't know is that there's this wonderful like short speculative fiction idea
Hmm.
that was often ripped off, which is the whole thing about paper clips. I don't know if you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
turning into bicycles.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, how paper clips are the larval form of bicycles.
Yeah, makes sense. When you
I mean,
just
and
bend
it's
them a
just
little
like,
bit. Yeah.
what? And apparently that was ripped off so many times, but he was the
Wow.
first person to write that.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, that's a
Isn't it fun? It's just
it's an
so
out.
fun. Like, okay, they do
Okay,
kind
yeah.
of, they are like complicated paper clips, aren't they?
Little tiny bikes, little tiny bikes. I'm really excited. Every time I talk to Zach and I do Wheel of Genre, and every time I talk to him now, he's like, let me tell you about the secret order, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Or he starts telling me about Aleister Crowley. He's reading all of this stuff since we've been reading the Weird. And it's so many of the authors throughout the Weird, Jeff and Anne Vandermeer's collection, are involved in these different secret orders or kind of occult groups. So one of my favorite stories in Adventures in Unhistory is The Great Rough Beast. It's all about Aleister Crowley and the Hydra Club. Have you
Oh,
read this one, Virgil?
I've not read this
This
one.
one?
No.
This one we have to read together. We should get Zach in on it, but it's really great. It's got like it kind of begins like Fight Club because it says there are only two rules for the Hydra Club. Rule number 1, the Hydra Club shall have no rules. Rule number 2, there are no other rules.
It's like the guy who wrote this is like, is this too much work?
Do we need a third rule? Oh no, that violates the second rule. So that one's really cool because it goes to Aleister Crowley's history, different people talking about different people's opinions about Aleister Crowley. He's the most evil man in the world for a
Oh
while.
yeah.
So I think we should definitely get to this one, and it will inform us a lot about weird fiction, I think.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I guess since we're talking about it, this is a bit off topic, but not too far off. I watched a video earlier this year
Hmm.
where a very large, not really a booktube channel, but he's sort of like I guess you'd say he does self-help, or I'm not really sure,
Hmm.
called Struthless. And he talked about books that he that were really influential to him. And there's this one book, that's like supposed to be nonfiction, called Hands. Hands, a true account of something, and it's about this woman who, I think under hypnosis, talks about her communications with this handstronaut, which is a hand that is a alien in the shape of a hand, and
Okay.
the messages that she gets from this alien, and like the truths that it tells her about our world and the universe, and presented
Whoa.
all as nonfiction.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Imagining a hand puppet. Just...
very rare book, very difficult, expensive book to get a hold of. And I think let me think, it's tied very closely to theosism, I think, which is which has a lot to do with like Eastern mysticism and stuff like that. And probably theistic influences are probably things that if we listen off, you'd be like, oh, I know, I've seen this stuff before, and that's all comes from, I believe it's theosism, but if
Theosophy,
I'm saying it
maybe?
wrong, you can correct me later. But yeah, but it just reminds me of that, like this weird, like super like esoteric, occultish, almost like stuff. Yeah. And I like that Avram kind of dives into that. Like he read some stuff like this and pulled out interesting little statements or tidbits or something out of that fiction, and they said, well, is this true? Why are they saying this? Why do people keep saying that these giant birds that Sinbad might have encountered could pick up elephants? Like, what is this? Seems so random, but
I
why
know.
does it keep popping up?
Why do these elephants keep popping up? It's the birds.
These elephants are popping up everywhere.
It's a little bit, it has a feeling of like ancient aliens, could it be 25,000 years ago? But it's, instead of just like hobbling things together. Well, I mean, that's a fun show too, but he's going and finding the facts instead of piecing them together. He's trying to like look further and further and further and further underneath to find out the truth of these things.
Right. Unlike ancient aliens, it just sort of assumes facts. Like somebody had a dream and they thought aliens were blue. Did blue aliens rule the earth before humans? You're like, what? Wait a minute. That was just like, what? How did I don't know if that.
But I'm sucked in every time.
It works.
But the anti-logic gets me all, yeah.
I love it. It's fun, but it's like, oh, wait a minute.
Just keep telling me too close. Just tell me wherever this blue dream goes. It's fine. If it's two hands talking to each other.
Yeah, really.
What is the hand of one sound clapping? The sound of one hand clapping?
The sound of one hand chatting.
Yes, the sound of one hand chatting. Oh my goodness. Okay, Virgil, we gotta read some of these adventures in history, and we gotta come back and we gotta start with where did Sinbad sail, I think.
It's a great place to start.
We'll set sail today.
That's right. We're gonna set sail.
Toot toot.
Just as Sinbad himself used to say.
Yes, Sinbad's steam
from his tuning. he was a no tutor.
Oh God! All right, Virgil. Let's get to Sinbad.
That's right.
See you, Virgil.
Bye.